Welcome to the Blockchain Report, where we discuss all things blockchain technology, digital assets, DeFi, NFTs, and much more. Today's video, we are diving deep into the updates from Sunrise Layer. There's a lot been going on, and I just want to give my perspective and some thoughts and want to clear any of the FUD that a lot of people have with the project, kind of upgrading and revamping and just, I don't know, adding more functionality and utility and use case and partnerships. So there's a lot of bullishness, so don't fear, but we will dive into all that. But before we get started, thank you so much for joining. Please like, subscribe, comment, share this out to anyone you think would be interested in blockchain technology, all the fun stuff we get to learn, and cool rewards we earn along the way. Now, Sunrise has their TGE coming up in the next 3 months, and we will dive into their updates. You can catch all the socials in the links below. I got Discord. Catch me on Twitter here. I don't have my things up to date right now, but anyways, I just want to dive into this real quick and kind of give my perspective on what's going on and the updates that have been happening. I see a lot of people in the Discord kind of freaking out, and well, not just, a handful of people, and there's a lot of bullishness with this project. Just one, what they're adding, their utility and use case. They're expanding from just a layer one blockchain data availability layer, proof of liquidity, their Interlquid network, which will tap into a whole host of other networks. Let's see, where is it at? Yeah, like Ethereum, other layer twos, Solana, and their partnerships. We'll dive into the Sony Bank partnership. And also, where is it? Sonium was actually shouted them out, or kind of in a Twitter post, they retweeted their support, and it was cool to see because Sony is a huge ecosystem in itself. And Sony Bank has been around since 2000, I believe, or 2001. So they've been around, 25 years. And Sunrise is partnering with them with the pilot launch for blockchain infrastructure and financial institutions. And I want to kind of, I'll give a little parallel between this and Coinbase and the Base network and what they're doing with financial institutions here in America. So let's see. Let's also make sure I got everything going. All right. So first off, I know there's a lot. So they want to start by thanking the supporters and giving some mainnet updates. So they are going to launch TGE in Q3, and mainnet will go live, I believe, before that. Right? Yeah. So they did have the community round, and the people who aren't happy, you are able to request a refund. So this is one thing that I've seen a lot of people support. They're like, oh, it's good that they're being transparent and saying, hey, if you don't agree or if you don't like, the way things are unfolding, there's just a lot of people concerned. And really, if I'd be more concerned with the project launching and then failing and then relaunching at a different time. I've seen that with many projects in the past where they launch too soon and they just fall flat, or the token rugs, and they have to revamp the whole project and facelift everything, and just it's a whole mess. It's ugly. It's not good for the look of the project and the community because there's all this shifting around. So holding off on launching, especially when you're identifying things that need to be addressed in the blockchain space. And this is what Sunrise is doing is great. We'll dive into that. So Here you can request a refund if you want. You have 20 days from this notice, and you forfeit your right to stake Rise pre-TGE. You don't need to reveal your seed phrase or anything. And so the next 3 months, they're still building, heads down. I have an interview with someone from the team soon, and I know that they've been going hard. It's been tough nailing down a time sooner than later, but we got one coming in July, and we'll dive into all this stuff and the updates. There's gonna be a lot more updates between now and then. You got a couple weeks, but that's the first thing with TGE and the next steps. Now their partnership. Oh man. So Sony Bank is partnering with Sunrise to launch a blockchain infrastructure pilot for financial institutions. They're going to identify technical and legal issues related to the use of proprietary blockchains in financial institutions. So what are technical and legal issues? Because you got to get the whole technical framework, legal framework, how those can work together, and how you can appease, regulators. Let me close my laptop. And also make it secure. Realization of a unique chain specialized for the utilization of stablecoins. And I will kind of bring this to the Base network. So Base and Coinbase work together. Let's say Paint. We'll go here to old Paint. So you have. I'll just draw this or brush it. You have. Oh no. Nope. You got your bank right here. And then we'll go to Coinbase. And this is in America. So to Coinbase, and then go this way. Doesn't have to be pretty. And then you go to Base. So what I'm thinking here, with these institutions, you need a way to go from your bank to the network itself, not just an intermediary. Because Coinbase is like an intermediary, because you can't go from your bank, at least here in America, you can't go from bank to crypto immediately without jumping through some hoops. So this kind of reminds me of like this model, but more direct, because if you can go from your bank to the layer one without having to go through other institutions, that would be awesome. Examination of issues for financial institutions. Yeah, and other organizations. Oh yeah, and interoperability, including integration with Sonium. And this is where's Sonium? Yeah, major move by Sony Bank with Sonium. The initiative addresses key challenges for financial institutions and demonstrates how traditional finance can evolve while maintaining security standards. Pretty awesome to see. And they got, also consider how regulated banks can deliver DeFi services to customers, leveraging Sunrise's proof of liquidity mechanism and data availability infrastructure. So context and relevance. Banks face rising pressure from anti-money laundering, KYC, and stuff. And there is an issue with data privacy that gets leaked. And that's why Sunrise is doing the ZK proofs and other stuff we'll get into with the software development kit, where makes this more secure, allowing your identity and data privacy to be secure on the blockchain. So if a bank, let's say your bank needs to verify your ID. So the bank will go and look on the blockchain, and the ZK proofs will allow it to only look at a certain window or like a little snapshot of your data, and without revealing, like, think of a puzzle piece. You see one little piece, it doesn't show the whole picture, but with that one piece, it can verify whether or not you have whatever is required or whatever's necessary by that institution. So it's safe, secure, your data is private, KYC, it's secured. And Sony Bank, being a big institution, is very promising. Let's see. Yeah. The different features we'll kind of dive into. And this is like kind of the Interlquid network. You can send a token. You can do all this from one transaction on Sunrise. Takeru. Sunrise. You transfer token X from chain A into Sunrise. You can swap tokens on Sunrise, and you can send without the need of bridging and stuff. So to a bunch of different places, you can do it all from Sunrise. And this is a great little blog post from Victor B. I'll share this as well. But kind of goes into the mechanisms that they dive into here, where the Rise token is the gas token on Sunrise. And you can deposit this and earn VRise, and also can be staked. So share of Rise will also be burned, reducing total supply. And the Rise doesn't provide governance rights, the VRise does. So you provide liquidity, and that's what the testnet was about, learning how to use the liquidity pools and all that stuff. And why hold Rise? One, it's the gas token used for the network, and it is deflationary and liquidity utility. So the bribes and stuff, you'll need, people can bribe you to vote on other liquidity pools for rewards. So there's kind of like this battle where you can get somebody to vote for more rewards on your pool. So it's kind of like a, battle of wits here. So there's a strategy behind it as well. Also, the flywheel technology, provide liquidity, earn swap fees. So yeah, you provide liquidity, and all the swap, or not all, but a percentage of the swaps that go on here on Sunrise, you'll earn, and VRise incentives, stake VRise voting power. And this is a great expansion on Aerodrome's flywheel technology and other DeFi platforms using the flywheel technology. It's very, very effective and efficient. Here's a breakdown of the dual token model function. So both VRise and Rise can be staked. VRise is used for governance and on-chain voting. Rise is your gas token and distributed to stakers. And VRise is distributed to LP as incentive. And what else? Yeah, so the Interlquidity is fantastic. Also, in this blog post by Victor, Kind of dives into the modular data availability layer with off-chain blobs. So you got, and I have this little chart pulled up. So Sunrise incorporates this data availability layer, which has blobs, which are these little temporary storage boxes that appear on chain. So essentially, I guess it's kind of like a blob, your user, and you are helping verify new transaction data on the blockchain. So the newest transaction data, and you have your friend open up and stake, or what is it? The Leap wallet. The Leap wallet has a function that allows you to run a blob, essentially. I'll show you. Leap wallet, you can go here, Celestia Light node, and this is on the Celestia network, but essentially what Sunrise will be doing on their layer 1. So yeah, some great functionality and use case utility for data availability. Very important when increasing transactions and getting them on chain, and it's a lot of stuff. And these KZG commitment security. Each blob is secured by single on-chain KZG commitment for rapid integrity verification. And this also supports big block L2s that were previously impossible. So it enables full on-chain AI and blockchain gaming applications and native cross-chain integration. So they have native IBC, which is inter-blockchain communication protocol from Cosmos, and zero knowledge proofs, and technical partnership with Data Chain, leverages their light clients. So this is like a light client right here, the Leap Celestia Light node. So that's like a data availability light client. Now, unify liquidity across ecosystems. Sunrise will basically serve as a backbone. Think of just one layer where all this liquidity can live, and you can come from Ethereum and swap your liquidity or stake. It's really awesome. Yeah, routes across Ethereum, Solana, Bearchain, and other ecosystems without bridges, and allows projects to bootstrap token liquidity. So instead of getting grants from one project or one network and this network, you have liquidity that's separate and that doesn't align or meet together. So it kind of eliminates the need for you to build on a single network and have isolated liquidity pools, which is important if you want to work with financial institutions, because you want to be able to have as much liquidity as possible to meet the demands, because this it's not just a small amount of people that are coming into the blockchain space. I mean, there's a small percentage now, and it's only getting bigger. So we need this type of infrastructure. Fee abstraction. So any transaction can be paid in the token the user already holds. Wow. So you can pay in USDC, USDT, and it will swap to Rise. The protocol will automatically swap a fraction into Rise to cover gas behind the scenes. So you can enjoy having your native tokens to function as gas coins from day one. Yes. Yes. That is great. That is fantastic. Yeah, so you don't have to transition your Ethereum. Oh, I need more Ethereum, or I need more Rise. I need to do this. Nope. Amazing, amazing. So incentive alignment through vRise governance. And this is standard stuff, voting in distinct, direct incentives towards specific pools. Rewards are weighted toward pools generating real trading volume. The real world applications for rollup developers, instant liquidity access. So new rollups launch with immediate access to deep shared liquidity pools, reduce bootstrap costs, eliminates need to incentivize fragmented liquidity provisions, sustainable incentives, some liquidity providers, so you can access your liquidity across multiple ecosystems. Volume-based rewards mitigate risk of providing liquidity, so reduced impermanent loss, and governance rights for end users. You can swap on a single chain to any other chain, low fees, and better pricing because there's more liquidity on that chain. Advantages versus bridges: eliminates bridge security risk, no wrap tokens or middleman, native asset transfers in single transaction. Versus isolated dexes, traditional data availability layers, integrate liquidity solution rather than just data storage. So Sunrise has the whole integrating liquidity to other blockchains rather than just a data availability storage layer. And that gets a little more technical, but proof of liquidity aligns security and economic activity, faster data availability, and case study right here. So let's see what else I had pulled up. Yeah, Sunrise Exchange, gauge voting, and bribes. And this kind of is an interesting play on DeFi because you can battle for rewards on certain pools. And that gets really into the trenches, but I want to kind of touch on a few more things. The Interlquid software development kit. It helps builders ship faster through access to shared automated market making liquidity from launch via the Interlquidity model. Fast ZK finality that proves transactions in minutes. And native fee abstraction with any token. So USDC, whatever, auto swap to Rise under the hood. That way you don't need to have Rise to hold, or if you need Rise and you don't have any, it'll swap for you. Smooth onboarding that removes seed phrase friction for users. And that is great. You know, you don't want the seed phrase. If you can have a model that has no seed phrase and still secure your account. Now this Interlquid software development kit, data friction, onboarding friction, kind of goes into some of the more technical stuff. So this optimized for efficient state access and manipulation, because these are for zero knowledge proofs. So why it should matter to you: lower cost, more velocity, skip the indexer tax, more dApps go live faster and start generating protocol fees earlier. And faster finality, tighter spreads with block proofs generated in minutes. Market makers enjoy lower bridge risk and higher capital efficiency, and hardware democratization. And how it compares between these other development kits: use cases, self-custodial. So you have passkey authentication for secure user control, integrated with an off-chain order matching engine for performance. So verifiable digital voting, a private tamper-resistant voting mechanism powered by trusted execution environments, enabling eavesdropping protection prior to simultaneous vote tallying. Pretty cool. Composable victory auctions, system built with TEs, fully composable with smart contracts, combining transparency, fairness, and on-chain interoperability. A lot of good stuff. Erases two toughest bottlenecks: on-chain iteration and proof latency, while handling builders' instant liquidity and passkey level usability. Now, one thing I did notice, where is it? Oh yeah, this is a great white paper by Kimura, the CEO of Sunrise, and why all this stuff kind of matters. And some really technical stuff. Yeah, I just really want to stress how important this is in looking at what is important when evaluating a project, right? And let me get the paint back up. So, what is really important? And there's many things. There's funding, right? Um, Partnerships, uh, use case, and utility. Um, is the team doxed? So they have raised funding, right? There was, I think it was 3 million so far, probably more. Um, funding, but at least 3 million, I think, so far. Partnerships, um, Animoca, and Sony Bank, and others. I don't have them off the top right now, but partnerships, use case and utility, interoperability. You got data availability, and their whole, and they're a layer one blockchain, not a layer two. So it's its own blockchain that will run incredibly fast, low fees, and yes, the team is doxed, so that is important. The CEO and COO and everybody, is talking to the COO and give them a follow to Buddha, the CEO, and also based BBU, one of the best, content or community. I don't even know what BBU's official title is, just all star, rock star. Just really having amazing community building and networking and marketing skills. It just, the whole team, they're not spammy, they post strategically, and they're being transparent in what they're building. So a lot of these are great, and also who's shouting them out? Sony. Like I said earlier, Sonium was I can spell Sonium. I mean, it's a no-brainer, to keep this on your radar. Sony Bank. This is awesome, and this is one thing that Coinbase is working with regulators on here in America, and this is just so bullish, so bullish. Because what better way of incorporating traditional finance than with a layer one blockchain? Layer twos are cool, but man, if you have this one blockchain that can have access and to other blockchains, and this is secure, safe, and you can onboard from traditional finance, from Sony Bank. This is a great way. Proof of concept experiment. Super bullish. So a lot of good stuff, and just don't worry so much about like I don't know, just focus on what is being built and what will benefit the space. Because are we here for, obviously we're here for a short time, but we want the space to grow and thrive and not be cluttered with bullshit and worthless projects that are just building nothing and trying to hype up their own bags. You know, Sunrise is not, I I want to say that, I don't want to say they're going to take a hit, but sometimes you have to reevaluate before giving the full green light. And if you can hold off and add more functionality and features and really get this a robust ecosystem, man, it's just bullish long term. You know, they're trying to build out an ecosystem that will thrive and flourish and have real functionality and not just a flash in the pan. So really sit with that and think about it. And I'm still bullish, you know, and until it goes into until they wave the red flag, I'm not, you know, shying away from this project. So I haven't been paid anything by them or anything. So I'm just really interested in these projects that are building and what they can do to benefit the space. So really take your time and don't FUD a lot of stuff if there's not really any need to, you know, it's all up to you. You know, I've faded other projects in the past and they turn themselves around and, you know, I had egg on my face, but hey, we all make our own decisions. But Sunrise, a lot of bullish stuff. And get in here, follow some of the creators, Takeru, Kimura, BBU, and the main Sunrise account. But yeah, just stay bullish. And if anything changes, I'll be the first to let you know. But I appreciate you all joining me on this deep dive, letting me fill you in with my thoughts. But share your thoughts down below. I like to know what you think, but I appreciate all of you. And with that, this is the Blockchain Report. Have a wonderful day, homies. Peace out.